This country's international reserves position sinks deeper into danger. That's our top story in our Barbados Today morning news update for Tuesday, January the 30th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Barbados's international reserves position has sunk even deeper into danger, putting even more pressure on the island's prized exchange rate of 2 Barbados dollars to 1 US dollar on the eve of the Central Bank of Barbados releasing its economic review of the country's economy for 2017. Regional economist Marla Dukuran is reporting that the international reserves fell to an all-time low of $482 million, or just under 8 weeks of import cover, as at November last year. The reserves have been on the downward trajectory, with government facing a high import bill, a massive debt of just over 100% of gross domestic product, and a worrying deficit of about 6% last year. In her Caribbean Monthly Economic Report for January, Dukuran said the international reserves fell 44% year on year to US $240 million in November 2017. This, she said, was the lowest level of reserves and the fastest year-on-year pace of decline in this century. Meanwhile, opposition leader Mia Mottley has described Prime Minister Francis Stewart's against the odds speech on Sunday night as a wishy-washy attempt to defend his government's dismal record. In a statement last night, Mottley said the Prime Minister's declaration during the mass political meeting at Ellerton St. George that his hands were tied by debt he inherited from the Barbados Labour Party administration was inaccurate and misleading.
It is clear that the Prime Minister's memory is slipping. Dodds Prison is a rarity in government contracts in this country. Not only did it come in on time, but it was under budget. The Prime Minister knows, as I've said before, that the government got back $10 million from the agreed contract price to build Dodds. Mr. Stewart was the Attorney General indeed, when the ministry received almost $4 million in a check back from the contractor. Further, the ministry had also received the benefit of another $6 million from the contractor, which that ministry had previously authorized for the reconstruction of Somerville and other works at Dodds. That the PM would raise this red herring of rebuilding the 19th century constructed Glenderry, where sanitary facilities consisted largely of a bucket in a grossly overcrowded cell, is both unbelievable and unconscionable.
Mottley also reminded the Prime Minister that if his government had paid contractor Al Barak much earlier, it would not have incurred almost $30 million in interest over 8 to 9 years.
No amount of pleading and muddying of the waters by the Prime Minister at this 11th and a half hour will convince Barbadians that the present Democratic Labour Party government is not the most inept and incompetent administration that we have had to endure since independence and arguably since modern settlement. Francis Stewart has zapped Barbadians of their pride. The people of Barbados want to have a say in all of this. The Prime Minister must stop fiddling and, like Dr. Keith Mitchell in Grenada, give Barbadians what they want.
In other news now, 3 wanted men are at large. Police are looking for 22-year-old Rashan Thomas of Vauxhall Christchurch, 23-year-old Nico James of Upper Collymore Rock, St. Michael, and 28-year-old Rashad Moore of Vauxhall Christchurch. Now, Thomas is 5 feet 6 tall, slim build, and black complexion. James is the same height, medium build, and brown complexion, while Moore is 5 feet 7, slim build, and brown complexion. Police say these men are considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Some 4,000 sugar workers in Guyana have started receiving severance pay. HGP-TV's Royden James reports.
The wait is over for more than 4,000 sugar workers who were made redundant at the end of 2017. It's time for the severance payout. Business Minister Dominic Gaskin, who joined a number of other government ministers on Friday at Enmore, said it is painful that the situation had to reach this stage because of bad management of the sugar industry in the past.
We have made it clear that monies will be paid before the end of, or by the end of January, and the disbursements will start on Monday. And therefore, so between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the monies earmarked for severance will be paid out.
The workers were assured that their laying off from Gaisuco is not the end of the road for them. Telecommunications Minister Cathy Hughes said several international firms that are interested in their expertise have expressed interest in investing in Guyana.
And on the international scene, angry demonstrations have erupted in Lebanon after the foreign minister called the parliament speaker a thug. We get the rest of the story in this Euronews report.
Protests have taken place in Lebanon after the Foreign Minister Gibran Basil was filmed calling Parliamentary Speaker Nabi Berri a thug. Supporters of Berri burnt tyres in the streets and carried flags of his Shiite Amal movement. It highlights tensions between Berri and President Michel Aoun, who's Basil's father-in-law. Basil said Berri has a problem with the president, but why is he involving me or expats? He's trying to create divisions by asking Shiites to boycott any conference by threatening their businesses. This is a thug and not a president of a parliament. He was speaking after Aoun promoted a number of Lebanese army officers. One Amal supporter said Basil is saying words bigger than him. He's not up to the standard of Mr. Berri. Mr. Berri is one of the pillars of Lebanon. This is not acceptable. We support Speaker Berri.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.